Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 13 of Equality and Diversity. And today I have the amazing Renee with me. Hi, Renee, how are you?
Hi, Saskia. I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. And thank you for coming along today to talk to us about equality and diversity in music. I
Mhm.
just want you to kind of explain to the viewers a little bit about who you are, where you're from, what you do.
Okay. Well, my name's Renee. I am a singer, songwriter, and producer, and I also go by the producer name TheGoddessMusic. I've been making music overall for over 10 years, but I started getting serious about it maybe in the last 5, 6 years. And I've been in various fields of music. I've been behind the scenes and up front as well. And now I'm just concentrating on the songwriting aspects and production of music. Yeah.
Oh, that's super inspiring. So tell us a little bit more about your story and how you kind of got into the music industry. So I know it's a fascinating journey.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of a journey, but basically I started singing when I was about 5. I really got into music and I had a lot of inspirational artists that I liked, like Prince, Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson. They were my idols that I'd look up to and always like, you know, imitating their moves on their videos and singing along to their songs. I grew up in a very musical family. So my grandfather, he was a musician himself. He was in a blues band and he managed bands as well. And he was very, very serious about that. And he played the piano as well as played bass guitar. So he actually showed me a few keys on a keyboard, got me a keyboard for my birthday. And every Christmas or birthday, I would get something musical, whether it's like a pretend microphone from Fisher Price or some sort of speakers, anything to do with music, I would get because they knew I just loved it so much. I was around it. My dad was also very musical. He's still musical, but more business now. But he also was in a band that my grandfather managed, and so he sang and played the drums. And then in his adult years, into his teenage life as well, he got into making sound systems, like, you know, the speakers that you build reggae music. And he was playing reggae music and, you know, going to the record stores, getting the latest dub plates. And I grew up around some of that as well. So, you know, LPs, records were always in my house, soul music, reggae music, jazz music, everything. And I think it was from like teenage years or just before in, you know, secondary school is when I started to find my voice. And people would always ask me in school to sing. So I was always singing, always in productions, plays, musicals. And then it was when I got to the end of my school year, I was a music captain and prefect. So I was like a role model for the other students in music and did choir and things like that. And my music teacher was very influential. He was like, Renee, music is for you, go for it. And you know, I got really good grades, and I decided that when I go into college, that's what I was going to study.
Yeah.
So I studied music technology. I was the only other female on the course, mind you. It was all guys. And but I loved music. I loved music technology. I love making it, love learning how to make it, recording, all that sort of thing, being in a studio. And then I also joined a band, a girl band back in the day, called Cyan. It was something my dad found in the paper. They were auditioning for a girl group and they wanted dancers. So originally I joined as a backing dancer, but then when they learned I could sing, I then became another member of the band and was singing up front. And we actually supported acts like the Honeys and Awesome. You know, in the 90s. So we were doing like Brighton Dome, those sort of concerts. And then I had an opportunity with a record label at that time with Sony, who scouted us, and he wanted to sign me along with a few other girls. But I was still very young. I was in school, so I was like 15. And my parents were like excited, but then the manager we had, she was like, don't break up the groups. If you don't take any of my girls, if you don't take all the girls, you can't have them, basically. So didn't end up with that, but I still continued with the music journey into uni. Then I started to learn how to write songs myself. I started writing a lot of songs. And then I realized I was really good at it, and people liked my songs. Then I took up the production a bit more serious and started playing around, making beats on the keyboard, that sort of thing. But also enhanced with the skills that I learned at college. And then from there, I went to uni and did a music degree, but I didn't get on with the course, so I quit in my second year. And I actually met a producer in London at the time, so I was still doing music here and there, meeting different people in the industry, and did like a couple of singles with him. And then I moved to Spain, where my parents were. And they were like, okay, if you're not going to finish your studies, then you need to start working and you need to promote yourself. So I started putting a bio together, going out and, trying to get gigs. So I started gigging, was doing all over Mallorca Island, met a really crazy woman, which I won't mention her name, but I met a really, really fun, crazy woman who was very influential on the island and very well known as a singer. She was always in the magazines. And she took me under her wing and we started doing a lot of shows and stuff together. And then I got really popular. And then I ended up going on to a jazz brunch, and meeting a lot of musicians. And then it was someone in the band that said, oh, there's an agency looking for, singers. So that's when I took my demo, went along to the agency. They loved it. And they were like, we're going to fly you to Ibiza. You're going to be in the Supremes tribute band.
That's a big kind of like, okay, let's go.
Yeah, it was literally like that. It was like, okay, wow, I've got to think about what am I going to do. And then I was working as well part-time as a waitress. So I had to give my notice in, and they were like, yeah, go for it. This is amazing opportunity. Like, why are you going to stay here waiting?
You wouldn't.
Yeah. Wouldn't. So did that for 6 months in Ibiza, and that's when I really got the itch for like performing and being like, this is me, this is what I want to do. Yeah. Came back to England many years later and kind of was like, okay, I need to take this music journey a bit serious as an artist, and started making my own tunes, made my own mixtape, released it, did gigs again, and growing that audience.
Confidence, and you're developing as an artist, aren't you?
And developing. And so many years of that, and traveling all over the place. I ended up in Estonia. And that was from meeting other people, that were from that area, from the Baltics. And I only went to visit a couple of times because they told me how good it was in the summer, which it is. It's very close to Finland and Sweden, so I've also been to those countries and did music there. I ended up moving there permanently for 5 years, became a resident and everything. And then from there I started to gig, and obviously it wasn't easy. It started off very like, get my feet to, in the waters, but still like, how am I finding money to eat? How am I paying my rent? So I took up a job as a teacher because I have a degree as an education. I went back to my studies and did education studies. So I started teaching. And then as things started to pick up, through the music gigs that I was doing, I was able to start supporting myself with the money I was getting from the gigs, right? And then I was like this Black female. Imagine, like, it's a predominantly white country. There's a lot of Russians there, a lot of Estonians, a lot of Finnish people.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of Black people that are well known in that country. So word started to get around, because it's quite a small country as well, which is beneficial to me. Like as a 1.5 million or something like that, really crazy small. They were starting to catch ear about who's this female Black beautiful singer that we're hearing about, and started getting calls all the time. And then celebrities of the island were starting, I say island, country, but it's like an island to me. Because but anyway, started getting calls from different celebrities there asking to work with me. And then I met a singer by the name of James, who was Black as well, and he was from America originally, and he was also very super famous, like in Estonia, as this performer. And he took me under his wing and was like, Renae, you're great. Like, I want to work with you. I'm going to help you get in the circuit properly. So I started getting better gigs, started getting better venues, that are paying very well, started getting private events. and we did quite a few shows together, and off of his name obviously as well. That really helped me. So he introduced me into the scene, and I started to meet like actors, and they were wanting me to be like, I had a cameo in a movie as well, and just loads of little things like that were really like flying out. And then I met a really famous singer over there called Ukuzvisti, who also was in the last, not the last, but the one before, year before, Eurovision. Represented Estonia, but he's a really good friend of mine now. But yeah, one time he must have called James, the singer that I was working with. I was like, I've heard this singer. Can I call her? Because I'd love to, you know, meet her. So I got a call from him one day, and I knew of him, but I didn't know the scope. Do you know what I mean? Like, and then I found out that he was actually a friend of mine on Facebook, and I can't remember even him requesting or anything like that. I just was like, and I remember turning to my another female friend who's a singer. We were doing also the preliminary like round of Eurovision. So, you know, they have every country has their own show, and then they pick the best songs to represent the country. So I was already doing that with another well-known singer called Helen Risti, who's also an actress. And then I get this call, whatever, and I turned to my friend. I was like, "Oh, you know this guy, Ukuzvisti?" She's like, "Ukuzvisti? No way! Like, what? He's your friend on Facebook?" And like, she was all ecstatic, and I was like, "What is this?" But then when I got to know, I was like, "Yeah, he's a big deal." And he's like, "Can you come and sing with me as a backing vocalist on my show? I'm doing a Prince tribute." And of course, as I told you, so I was like, hell yes. And he was paying me as well. So, and he was very good looking. So I was like, I'm all in, like tick. So after I started singing, then as we got to know each other, we really like grew a friendship, and he just always would invite me to sing with him. And obviously him being really well known, it again drew that attention more to me, and I ended up on TV and things like that. And so I'm really grateful for that experience that I had there, and it kind of gave me the tools to come back to the UK and really be like, right, I know how this industry works now. I've done it once over there. I'm going to do it again. And
all your other experience on top of that of traveling around different countries as well.
Exactly. And so now, when I came back, I gave it another go as an artist, because what was a bit stifling in Estonia is that they always wanted me to do covers. And I was like, yeah, that's cool. And I did try out things like, you know, put different tracks out, and I formed a little band as well. We opened up for Nelly, we opened up for Onyx. And
that was amazing, by the way. The Beyonce one that I saw was
yeah, and I did Beyonce tribute and stuff like that, and I was getting known for those sort of things, but I wasn't myself as an artist. Do you know what I mean? I still was discovering what's my sound, who am I, like, want people to accept me for me. So I was like, okay, let me refresh, let me figure out what my sound is. I had a little bit of a downtime where I was starting to get depressed, and I was not feeling myself. And then I was like, okay, music's my savior. Music's the only thing that's gonna keep me going. Let me find what it is. Eventually I found it. I ended up with was it 8-track EP, I think.
The name of the EP?
Every Cloud Has a Silver Lining. Imagine that. And that was like a little present to myself, a little pick me up to myself to say, you can do this, and you know, you've rediscovered yourself. You've reinvented. I cut all my hair off. I went really short, blonde, platinum hair, and reinvented. Say again?
You invented yourself.
Yeah, reinvented myself completely, from image, branding, everything, sound, and started promoting the music that I was doing. And it was so different. Everybody was accepting it because it was so refreshing. Do you know what I mean? And I think I also bared my soul into the EP because I was talking a lot about experiences and different things. It was very soul bearing, I guess.
Yeah. And organic.
And organic, yeah, exactly. And I was coming from a place, like, I wrote a song called Lost, and that's totally about finding yourself again and feeling depressed and not knowing which road to take and all that thing. And that's on my deluxe EP. I made a deluxe version. And then DJs started to want to remix my stuff. Like I had Carl H, who's quite a name in the dance scene.
Yeah.
He came out and was like, can I remix your single Spend, which everybody loved. It got on radio, Jazz FM, BBC, everything. And I was like, yes, I've hit something here. Something is clicking, you know? So few, and also another DJ who's quite known, dance DJ, did a remix of my song as well, Wasted, which was the first single I put out. And now I'm really gone blank of what his name was.
If you want to come back to that one, you can.
Yeah. Because there's just so much, Saskia, but I don't want to be just talking at you. But just to give you the backdrop of, you know, like the journey so far. And it was during lockdown, the first lockdown, that I actually ended up releasing the EP. And I just turned the catastrophe or controversy into something positive and was like, you know what, we're going to have a party online. Get your popcorn, get your wine. And I just did a YouTube live and premiered the whole EP. And yeah, after that, I was super shocked at the streams that I got in the first 2 days. I got 1,000 streams. And I was like, oh my God, I did it. And from there I ended up in the charts. I ended up in the soul charts for global soul. And I went up. I started, I think, at 17, and then I ended up at number 7 or something like that.
Yes, well done.
Thank you. And Amazon as well. I was in the Amazon charts. So with that EP, sitting just above La DC, I was like, whoa.
Big achievement.
Yeah, so that was a massive achievement. And then I was like trying to gig, but obviously we still had the pandemic and everything. And all the gigs that I had lined up were getting taken away from me, which was really sad. And obviously I wasn't the only one. Everybody was having struggles at that point. And I realized that I had to divert my direction slightly and say, do you know what? I spent so much money trying to promote myself, trying to keep up this brand. And it was all self-invested, you know, completely independent. I didn't rely on labels, and just friends and family, and anyone that wanted to listen to me. And I was like, okay, you know what? I had a conversation with my dad, and he introduced me to an old school friend who's like a family friend. And he was making music sort of on the side. He's always dabbled in music. And he was like, I've got this track, but I don't know what to do with it. Like, could you do something with it? Could you produce it? Like, and, you know, so I took the track and I was like, yeah, I think I can do something with it. So started playing around. Next thing you know, got a whole song like written to it, sang it. And then I was like, what do you think? He's like, oh my God, this is so good. And I was like, really? And imagine, I hadn't really produced properly for a long time. I kind of got a little bit defeated by the industry in terms of female and producer, which
representation and visibility and the opportunities that female producers don't have.
Exactly that. And then people, you know, trying to claim things that aren't theirs, and just having not a good time with that. And I was like, but then I had the conversation with my dad. He's like, you're just so good. And my brother and my sister were like, Renee, you need to go back to producing. Like, you're so good at that as well. Like, don't hide that in the closet, like work on it. So I spent the whole pandemic working on relearning that craft, relearning the DAWs, DAWs, which are Logic and Reaper and all those sort of, you know, digital software to create music on. And then after that, I was like, okay, I think I can do this now. And I actually then went on to make a completely different genre of music. I made an Afrobeat song, and it was called Don't Worry About Me.
Yeah.
And again, it was coming from that place of like, you know, writing about how I felt at that time, but an uplifting song, same like the one I did with the family friend, uplifting song. And my dad was like, you know what, I think you need to go into commercial music. You need to start doing pop. Like, and I was like, really? Like, I like soul. I like And but it's like, no, but this is the market, that's the scene, and also you're good at it. And I was like, yeah, because again, those 2 tracks they got on radio, people really responded to them. And I thought, okay, this is my lane. So yeah, that's how I ended up doing that.
Inspirational and inspiring, and what a journey it's been for you, Renae, and kind of how many different skills and what a diverse skill set you have. It's such a inspiration to many women out there. So thank you for sharing that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Questions would be, as a Black female producer, how have you found it in the industry navigating your way around your career and progression, and obviously how you fit in the industry? Do you feel that there's as many opportunities? Do you think that's improving? What are your aspects on it at the moment?
It's a very good question, Saskia, and it's something that I'm currently researching actually, because I didn't say, but I'm doing a master's at Telyard, and we've got our final project that we have to present, and we've also got to do a lot of research and put a proposal together. And I've just very recently, I'd say in the last year and a half, started venturing into dance and house music, which I love. I didn't realize how much I loved it. I've always had it in the background, you know, like as in listening to it, and my dad introducing me to the early days of house. But I was like, okay, yeah, I'm really feeling this. And so started making it and started to get, you know, progressively better, to the point where I felt I could release some stuff. And I've just started my project on doing an EP of a full house dance
Wow.
EP.
What's the
And
name?
I don't know the name yet. I don't know the name yet, but something is going to be something inspiring for sure, because I feel like there's a lot that's gone behind it. And answering your question is, I just started researching about, because we have to obviously put this proposals together and talk about why we're doing it. And the reason why I'm doing it is because there is such a lack of female diversity within not just the music industry, but especially in dance and house music. And then again, even smaller number of the ethnic minority, like the Black and brown people. And I was researching, and it was like 3% of producers are female that are even recognized and noticed on Billboard charts or in awards, and just generally you know, mentioned at all that you would know of. There's like a handful of women, and then again it's an even smaller number for, I think it's 1.2, don't quote me on that, but it's something around that arena of Black females that are doing music in that genre or in production as it goes. And I think it is starting to change, but it's snail pace.
Yeah.
And as well, there are the stereotypes of what is seen as like, oh, how a female should be coming across.
Yeah.
You know, females are very hypersexualized as it is.
Yeah.
And you know what they wear and how they look. And, you know, I've had people, you know, people interested in my music, but then they find out I'm female, and then it's a whole different
Okay.
approach.
Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of start judging you a little bit more. Oh, the mix, or you've chosen to do it in this sort of style, or you know, everything is a little bit more nitpicked than
Yeah.
it is for a man who could just, you know, he'll get bypassed for a lot of things.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think also the whole image of how women maybe approach technology, like there's like comments like, oh, you know, maybe like women don't really are that suave in tech, and or they're not, they're more busy about getting manicures and
It's
and
such
what they're wearing.
a view, isn't it, of
Yeah.
women, and it's such a shame because, like you're doing, you're paving the way and you're representing a certain group of women that are heavily underrepresented in the music industry and especially in producing. And this is a good point you make. And thank you for coming along and sharing that with the viewers, you know, because this is what we're trying to do by having these series of talks, is to educate and inform people of the different barriers people face, whether you're as a producer, as a performer, as a songwriter, as a DJ, as anyone in the music industry. We all face unique and different challenges. So thank you for that. It's really, really appreciated. And I appreciate your time. If you was to do this, say, 5 years ago, or if there's, say, some younger Black female producers that are aspiring, just leaving school, and they're saying, I want to follow Renae's footsteps, I want to be like her, what advice would you give to those people?
I would say build thick skin, or try your hardest to build a thick skin and not focus too much on what other people think of you, what other people have to say. Obviously, there are constructive criticism there that helps you learn, you know, to grow, and you learn from that. But I think you have to be true to yourself and know what it is you want, and focus on that determination of like, yeah, I want to just prove to myself that I can do this. And there are other people out there doing it. Like for me, I think probably Missy Elliott was my look up to, you know, as far as production. She's amazing. And she's a really renowned producer, female Black producer, you know. So I would say look to those people for inspiration, and know that it is possible, and be consistent. Just stay on your game and be consistent, and just always look at getting better at what you do. So no one can turn around and say to you, yeah, that's good, but you know, like always be working on your craft and know yourself, and like, yeah, just stay true to who you are.
I love that. And I've learned so much. And I think you've made it quite clear about connecting with people,
Yeah,
collaborating with people, getting out
100%.
there and kind of meeting new people and sharing your vision and your dreams with people. It's
Yeah,
another thing I've got from you as well. So yeah,
yeah, definitely. Like I've learned to be a lot more open. Like I think I was I've been quite a reserved, introverted person, and I've had to step out of my comfort zone.
yeah,
And it's stepping out of the comfort zone that I've gained so much. I've challenged myself to the point where I've been able to grow, and I've met so many good people, and now I'm in a position where, you know, I've got publishing deals, and I've like met other people to collaborate with, vocalists, and people are starting to hear my name as a producer slowly. You know, it's starting to formulate, and I think that is only from connecting with people.
exactly. And it's a process, isn't it? It's something
Yeah,
you've really got to work at. You've got to be dedicated and you've really got to be passionate about what
yeah,
you do. And I really get that from you, Renee. And I'm sure
yeah.
we're going to hear some amazing things coming from you soon. So if people want to find you on Instagram or anywhere else, do you want to share your links on them?
Yeah, so you can follow me at, well, please do follow me at The Goddess Music. It's a forever growing page right now, and I'm really proud of the people, my community on there. They're all really cool people. So it's The Goddess, TheGoddessMusic. So it's all one word.
Brilliant.
Um, and that is as it goes for all my social media. So if you want to follow me on SoundCloud, I'm always popping up there as well. It's The Goddess Music on SoundCloud as well. On Spotify, it's The Goddess Music as well. But if you want to look back at my Renae Rain music and my EP, which Every Cloud the Silver Lining is on, that's Renae Rain, which is spelled RenaeRain.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. And what have you got coming up? So kind of what things have you got up and coming for us? Any
Yes. Yes, I have a few things up my sleeve. Well, first, I've been working on all the tracks I want to release under the dance and house genre. I did want to do it over the summer, but I realized it's just too much right now with all the studying.
you've got a lot of
Um,
work?
yeah, it's a lot of work. I didn't realize how much it took from me, but I'm writing a lot behind the scenes for some artists. I'm hoping to get some placements, some big placements. We will see.
Oh,
We'll keep you posted if they happen, but I can't really speak on that too much. But yeah, a lot of songwriting. But as far as the Goddess Music, I have a lot of singles that I want to be putting out, and of course the EP when I finish the big project. There are a lot of collaborations with I've got a male vocalist, a couple of male vocalists, and a couple of female vocalists as well. So also just recently connected with Abby Flynn. She did a track called Believe Me.
yeah.
If you look it up, you know, I'm sure you have heard it. It's a big track. So yeah, just started working with her. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, you can expect a lot of new music coming from me soon.
Oh, thank you. That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing all of your amazing journey, your knowledge, your kind of inspiration. And thank you so much for coming on the show. And
Oh,
appreciate your
my
time.
pleasure. Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks, Saskia. Thanks for having me.
No problem at all. And we'll speak again soon. I'll see you tomorrow at the pie.
Yeah, see you tomorrow.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.